Evening all and welcome along to another round of RaceOnOz GT Sport Season 12 Division 1. I'm joined once again by Hatfield.
Hey, how you doing?
Good mate, how are you?
Yeah, good. Great to be here. Thanks to Ignition Controls for sponsoring this season. We are, of course, the Super B team.
Super B team. And we're joined tonight, as always, well not as always, but it's becoming quite regular. Captain Risky, Aiden, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Glad you could join us again after Tsukuba, which was a bit of a chaotic race in Japan.
Yeah, not expecting much of the same here, but
No.
still another good track.
So a bit of a longer track tonight. We're going, of course, to Nürburgring 24-hour layout for 5 laps of the most famous circuit in the world, I think it's safe to say. It's a bit of a late time slot for this one. It's an 8:30 p.m. race, so we'll get a bit of fog going around in the German hillside. But
Do you call that twilight?
I think
would
you
call
could
that
call it
twilight.
twilight. Yeah.
Put on the list of words I don't know, anyway.
List of words I don't use. I think we're all looking forward to it. How are the championship standings looking after the first round, Hatters?
Well, unsurprisingly, we've got Keaton in first after his win last week. He took both bonus points as well with pole and fastest lap. The rest of the podium was Risky and Norm, and then I won't bother filtering through the rest of the field, but basically it's one round done and dusted, so let's move on to round 2.
Wonderful, can't wait. And we'll roll in here now to the German countryside at Nürburgring.
Welcome to the Nürburgring for round 2. We've got Keaton on pole. Alongside, we've got Mint Matt. Third is Captain Risky with Viper alongside. Then Motors and Apex. We'll go through the field later. We've got the lights going red, and they're away. Who's going to get a good start? I guess we'll have to wait and see as they head down into turn 1. Looks like Keaton keeping the lead there. Mint not able to keep alongside, so Keaton a bit of a better start there. We've got Risky looking around the outside.
Very
Just
clean from the front runners. Good to see.
A little bit sideways action there from Keaton. It's a bit twitchy. Of course, we've
Bit
got
going
the
over the
soft
back
tyre
there.
and the medium tyre available. So a lot of the guys up front going to be on the soft tyre with the medium starters at the rear.
The whole grid got through that first complex there very cleanly, which is very hard to do around here. Very tight.
Oh yes, very tight section of corners. So well done by the field there. All 14 cars through clean. On the GP section here of the circuit, so a bit more space for them to deal with, which is good. Let them get their bearings, get in line, because once they get onto the Nordschleife, there's not very much room, even for your overtakes.
Yeah, it's where you see a lot of the passing done in this race on the GP section, which kind of tests your patience waiting for a 9-minute lap just to get a pass done, maybe on the GP section.
Well, it's either that or hope for a mistake in front of you.
That's it. Very likely to do around here as well.
And
Mint
Mint
sticking
Matt,
right with Keaton here.
he's wasting no time. He's really trying to get this move done early. He does not want to be caught up behind Keaton in the ring.
Which one of these two guys would be quickest on the ring? As Mint takes a look down the inside here,
I'd have to assume Keaton.
he's got it done.
Oh, good move.
Down the inside for Mint Matt, and of course the altered chicane for the 24-hour layout, and he leads us for the first time into the Nordschleife.
Risky sticking with them. Bit of a gap there, back to Viper. Very bumpy here compared to the GP section.
So, don't actually have any timing gaps at the moment. I can't help it.
It's going to be a bit of a tricky one, even with the... we're not going to be doing much asking for lap times either, considering the strategy with this race. You really only can get 2 laps out of the fuel, so most laps are going to be an in-lap or an out-lap.
That's it.
Kevin Murphy at the back here, Team Selby. They're going to want to improve upon that, but they're probably starting on the mediums, so hopefully they can make up some ground later when they put those soft tyres on.
Strategy for this one was actually a little bit different to what we might see in the future. Of course, with a 5-lap race, the fuel actually only lasts 2 laps here at the ring, so a 2-stop is absolutely necessary to making your race last. Of course, you do the 2 stints on soft, so that's 4 laps in total on the soft tyre, and to get rid of the mediums as quickly as possible, just the 1 lap. So a lot of these guys towards the back will just be running the mediums at the start. As Keaton's having a look at the outside here, see if he can get it done. Oh, mid covers.
Slots back in place.
Just a fun little stat for all you guys following at home. 10th back are all on the mediums, so keep an eye on those guys. They'll be very quick at the end of this race when everyone else is on the mediums.
Just run through here, that is. That's Razor, Brian, Chopper Dog, Kev, and Mighty Murph, all on the mediums. As Mighty Murph is well out
very
sideways.
sideways. He's having a skid pig session by the looks of it.
Brilliant piece of car control from him.
Interesting that you say Razor's on the medium. He is all over the back of Hatfield, so I guess you can see where the faster guy begins and the slow one ends.
Of course, Razor was caught up in an incident qualifying, which was unfortunate, which has left him up the back. So it was Vipers going wide up there. Lost a bit of ground at Risky there.
Yeah, catching onto the back of that group at the front. Bit of a gap back to Motors.
Motors just running a race on his own. We're 4 minutes in, but of course still on the first lap. He'll just have to settle into a groove here and hope Norton doesn't get to him.
Motors, of course, very quick around here in past events. He's got a bit of a soft spot for this place, so we'll surely see more of him throughout this race.
Bit of a bogey track, you reckon? Bogey's not good.
No, I think bogey's bad.
Well, opposite of a bogey track then.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, well, you've got no choice.
Definitely think one of Motors' standout performances was actually the 2019 Nürburgring 3 hour, where he took a really well forward 3rd place finish after 3 hours of racing with Captain Risky. Actually, it was a brilliant drive from him.
Big props to him, actually. That was a very fun multiple lap battle around here in very, very twitchy GT3 cars. Yeah, it was solid scrap. It was a race where I wasn't disappointed to come 4th, I'll say that much.
Absolutely.
Mint opening up a little bit of a gap to Keaton behind, but I guess once we get to those sort of fast-flowing sections, that slipstream should probably bring him right back up to him again.
Coming into Bergwerk here, and after this is going to be a long straight where these guys can really opening up the Mazdas.
I'm glad somebody knows some of the corner names.
Fun fact, still have no live timing. I think we'll have to wait till lap 1 is finished to actually get some gaps, but...
There's the time. That sector time was 5 minutes 19 seconds. I don't know if that's good or bad, but wow.
Wow, you are flying, Matt.
Brilliant.
Groover right on the tail of Razor. Is Groover on the medium?
Groover is not on the medium.
So he might have made an error somewhere, or Razor is just flying on those medium tyres because he's managed to get past.
Razor, of course, is quick here as well. He won that aforementioned 2019 wet Nürburgring 3 hour.
Nürburgring, eh?
Nürburgring, yep. He ran it with Viper's Ed. Actually, they paired up for this one.
That's
how do you have your Nürburgring? Medium, you have it well?
Medium rare, surely.
Medium rare.
German, usually.
Let's not go there. Keep race out of it. A little bit of a gap there from Groover back to Brian. Chopper closing in. Yeah, these subby boys at the back, Kev, and then Murph is quite a ways off.
Struggling big
Maybe
time
had
though.
one slide too many. He does not like this track. Kevin's
Apex
closed back
testing
up
had a
onto
new
mid
line
now.
through the carousel. Just decided to use the higher line there, but...
Might as
Good on
well.
Easy, probably. It is easy to... You try to break that a little bit later and you end up on top of the banking.
That's it.
We'll come here into the rhythm section now. This is every driver's favourite part of the Nürburgring. I think this is where a lot of guys just really throw themselves at the corners.
It does flow, doesn't it?
It's an amazing bit of track. And there's no overtakes to be made here, but it's a lot of fun. You just hang on for the ride.
Oh, you could make an overtake. I mean, you'd end up with the other guy on the wall, but at least you got the spot.
Very
Risky
true.
falling off that pack a little bit. Viper, same, falling off again. So all those gaps sort of opening up, but the top two right with each other.
All these cues to check the timing, but with no timing.
Oh, Razor very wide there. Kicking up dust, as a few drivers are. Must be a bit of tarmac under that dirt there.
Ooh. You know, these medium runners will be trying their hardest to try and maximise this first lap, because they'll all dive into the pits to put on the grippier softs, so they'll want to maximise this one.
I guess what they're probably thinking for strategy there is if they get the mediums out of the way, they're not caught up in a bunch of soft battles at the front, and can hopefully make up their positions through pit stops. But of course, the other side of that coin being at the end, they're going to catch up to some of those guys on their final medium lap, and it's not easy to pass here.
No, we'll see how that turns out for all of these guys.
Well, Keaton right on the back of it now as we head onto that long back straight. So Keaton with the blinker on, maybe saying, I'm going to pass you on this side, whether you like it or not.
Just letting Matt know where he wants to go.
I think he might be... Mitt might be watching that one. Oh, he's turned it off. Never mind.
Lovely
He's
work,
going to
okay.
keep it a secret now. They get to about 250 kilometres an hour along here in slipstream.
Can't go much faster. Car doesn't like it.
Oh, here we go. Caden's out of the slipstream. Can he get anything done towards the end of the straight?
Side by side under the Bilstein Bridge. Can I call it that?
You may.
You can call it that. It does say Bilstein on it, and it is a bridge.
Success,
Oh.
tick after tick.
Oh
Keaton
yeah.
tucks back in, thinks better of it. Side by
Oh,
side
the
through
blinker's
there is a
back
little
on.
bit tricky. That must be the second place blinker. It only appears when he's not in first.
The other one's on. He's turning it on for every corner. Hang on. I think
Maybe
we
a
figured out
wiring
what he's
issue in
doing.
that MX-5.
Whenever he turns the wheel, the blinker goes on. That's a problem.
Here we
Might be
go.
a strategy.
Must be.
One lap
Now-
completed.
This is a very hard braking zone into turn 1 here. Car don't like to pull up.
It's trickier than usual.
Oh,
Matt
we've
goes
seen
wide.
it!
Oh
Risky's
no!
wide.
Very wide. Keeps out of the gravel, but he's lost a ton of time to Viper's Head there.
Oh,
Motors is in his
Motors
rear.
is in.
Motors caught in now as well. But
It's going
I
to be
guess
difficult to defend.
unlucky with the positioning there that he couldn't get the move done sooner.
Mm.
He's got the inside run, but no, not quite enough. Oh, he's trying to make an
Oh,
issue
he's
of it.
trying to
but
push it.
side by side again through the right-hander.
Beautiful
just
racing
enough
here.
space left.
They've got to get it done now because you're not getting it done on the Nürburgring.
He's
Nordschleife,
still
I should
maintain
say.
the overlap. Surely they'll be able to clear him here with the U-turn.
Oh, Motors in the gravel,
runs
kicking it
onto
all
the
up there.
sand.
Right in the sand. Oh, he managed to keep him behind. There's still a few more spots where he's got to be wary though.
Mm.
Motors looking very aggressive.
Just
And
goes to show how
those
good these
medium
cars
runners
are
have
to
all
race.
come in and jumped out of the pits again.
Motors looking for any gap possible here. He's got a bit of urgency about him, but will it be enough?
Well, as you would do, like you said, passing
Yeah.
on the Nordschleife is not going to be any easy task.
Yeah, he's got the
Down
overlap.
inside, but he's on the wrong side of the road here.
That's it. Norman looking into this one. He's trying to capitalise on this one.
Yeah, he'd be salivating.
Might be able to get past. Oh, Motors
Instantly,
covers
Motors
nicely
has to
into
go
it. Yeah.
from attacking into defence.
Is the meat in the sandwich?
As we all love to be.
Yes.
Norm all over the back of Motors now. Risky a little bit of breathing room. Mint extending that lead to Keaton.
I've got timing!
Wonderful.
You'd
Keaton
have to say,
1.1
if
behind
Mint
Matt.
can keep this clean, you'd think that he'd be in a real shot.
Yes.
Keaton looking very
think-
squirrely.
I think perhaps it's a bit early to say. I mean, it's 5 laps in the Nürburgring. It's anything can happen here, and normally does. So we'll just wait and see. It's one of those tracks that can
while
throw
I
up
do
anything.
agree with you, if he can keep it clean, he'll be within a real shot. I
A shot?
stand by my
Absolutely.
statement. Keaton,
Oh.
2 wheels on the grass. Is that a line that I should be knowing about? Maybe that's why I'm so slow here.
That's a Keaton line. I will say he
Yes.
was doing that all through qualifying.
He
But
gets
could I
it,
do
but
it?
there is none.
Absolutely not.
I will say that trying to do it doesn't work. If you're not Keaton, it doesn't work. It's just how it works. Doesn't.
Oh, I've still got my name change queued up. I could be the next Keaton.
DOZ
Terrell
Keaton.
Hatfield.
Slow Keaton.
Ah, I like it. So that off from Risky there lost him 3.5 seconds to Viper. So be interested to see if he can claw that one back over the course of this race. Still
Yeah,
plenty of time.
Still got Motors behind there, so he's he's not hitting out scot-free just yet. But if Norm can stay where he is, keep him busy. Behind them, we've got Hatfield, a fair ways back, you'd have to say.
Just running a quiet race, I think you are. Trying to keep it clean and stay out of everyone's way.
Well, when you haven't got pace, it's the only race you can run.
Groover and Apex just sort of doing the same thing in 8th and 9th respectively.
They were... Well, Groover was softs runner. Apex was on the mediums, wasn't he?
I don't believe so, no. I think he
Another
started on the soft tyre.
Must have had an issue somewhere then to fall off like that.
And Razor, he was the first of our medium runners, and look at those fresh softs. He is absolutely sending this Mazda. He wants to get up the field.
Yes, well, with the pace that we know that he's got around here, shouldn't be too long. But probably within this lap, you'd think that he could catch up to someone.
Probably see Apex within the next 5 or so minutes, I think it's safe to say.
Brian there in the distance behind.
Again, Brian trying for the alternate strategy. I think if he can just keep with Razor here, it's going to be a really strong race for the starter lap driver. He's worked on strategy pretty hard over the last week, so he's surely got something up his sleeve just to claw himself up the field.
Looks like a similar gap back to Chopper as well. But then the Selby boys behind Chopper, have fallen off quite a bit. So it's
Really
going to be struggle
struggling.
street for them, I think.
Oh, that gap from Viper to Risky is back out to 4 seconds now, so I think Viper's just making haste here after he dropped Risky. He's just trying to pull away, really.
Making most of the luck that he was dealt.
That's it.
That's all you can do at this stage.
Matt staying a solid 1 second ahead of Keaton.
With the new slipstream model that came with the last update, was it?
What was the last
yeah.
update?
It's sort of fine-tuned it a little bit. As far as I understand it, is you need to be closer to get more benefit now.
It's 8/10 or it does nothing, really.
Simply put, you do have to be within 8/10. Oh, both of these guys running wide out there. Wow. That's not really the example we were looking for. But you do have to be within 8/10 for any slipstream, and it's not as strong as it once was. I think it's within half a second now is the real strong point, and within 3/10 you are pretty much activating DRS. It is
So
very quick.
more realistic, would you say? Or just better racing?
Outside
Better
of half a
racing.
second, absolutely more realistic. But past that, it's just for better racing.
And they really send it there into the carousel.
No
Great
wheel spin
corner.
at all from either of them. Beautiful.
I think we've all made the mistake pushing too hard at one time or another and popped out the other side, facing
Remember
the
it.
wrong way.
I did that on season 1, first race around here on GT Sport. I did
And look
that.
where you've come now.
Yeah, look at that.
I
have to
think
work
I
on turn
actually
one.
did the same thing, if I'm honest.
I did it out of pole position in
Beautiful
Div 2,
drone shot
season
there.
1.
Drones working hard in the backside of the Nürburgring circuit.
Such a good section of track to have a drone shot too.
Absolutely. Pity we couldn't stay on that a little bit longer.
No.
Technical difficulties with the drone.
We accidentally went through the leaves. Blades are gone.
Nightmare.
We will not be seeing the drone for the rest of the race.
Oh, Keaton, even wider than you should probably be going out there.
Just using a little bit more road than Matt is.
Trying to eke everything out of that car.
These three here, Risky Motors, Norm, gaps open up slightly between all of them.
Can't help
Hayden.
but notice that Risky's done a bigger fuel save than the two blokes behind him.
Ah, so some fuel strategy coming into play. Less time in the pits, no chance for slipstream for the guys behind.
That'll be it.
Matt, maybe just an average fuel save here, and Keaton doing Keaton things again. Huge
Massive
amount of fuel
save
left
from
in the
Keaton
car.
there.
And Keaton within slipstream now. So we'll see what happens.
I suppose if you haven't got the pass done by the time you get to the Nordschleife, your best bet is to save fuel and pass them in the pits. Especially
That's it.
if you've got no one behind to worry about, you've only got to look at that car in front. So just short shift every now and then.
Absolutely. Oh, mid-Matt! Oh, no!
No way.
From the lead of the
Oh,
race.
No. Oh, what a shame.
Still very well done not to loop that around, but
Huge
right
moment.
before the back straight is not where you need that to happen because he doesn't get any slipstream now. And will that affect his run as well? Give Viper a bit of a head start on catching him?
I think
Well,
he
yeah,
may
you'd
just be with
assume
a
so.
sniff here. I mean, that slipstream is that little bit weaker, but he might just get a run at him going into the back of the straight.
Conveniently, the timing for the top two is gone now. But actually, no, it's come back. Viper 1.2 seconds behind now. Matt lost 3.5 seconds to Keaton.
He'd be kicking himself. There's not many times that you're leading Keaton in a race.
To be
Especially
honest,
around here.
I don't think there's many times you'll watch Matt Simmons go lead a race at the Nürburgring and drop the car. That is a rare occasion and something that he will be fuming with.
I have to say, I'm not sure Dan Holland would have done that.
Absolutely not.
If we had to reschedule this one, I think he would have easily walked away with his race.
I think, actually, I did speak to him about that. He said that he would be on the back straight, drinking his cup of Tetley tea and checking his Gmail.
Wonderful, and we'll
I
see the
thought
leaders
so.
peel in here. Keaton, of course, with 22 leads to spare, huge fuel save, and look at the two behind him. Not quite as good as the 15-time champion.
Risky also in. Yeah, we did have well, everyone's jumping in now, I suppose. As we said with the strategy, you can only really get 2 laps done. Quite a few teams were doing some testing through the week, trying to see if they could stretch out that 3rd lap, but with the amount of fuel save you had to pull
Oh,
off,
hang on. Hold on a second there, Hatfield.
What's Keaton done here?
Keaton's come out early. That is a really short fuel stop for Keaton, and not enough to get him home on the softs.
Fuel.
Now, of course,
I'd
the
have to
ideal
think that's a
strategy.
fuel glitch.
The ideal strategy here was you either do 1 lap on the mediums in the middle, which is what he's fueled for, or you do 2 laps on the softs and 1 at the end on the medium. So this is just a terrible
Has he
meeting.
picked the wrong tyre by accident? Has he underfueled on purpose for an alternate strategy? But you would think going into the pits while leading, it's not the time to try an alternate strategy.
Now, our guys in the pit lane are telling us this was actually a fuel bowser problem that didn't allow all the fuel to go into the MX-5. So real issues
Rather
here
than
for the
sit still
McLaren.
with no petrol, just send it out.
Absolutely. Huge issues
So
here.
what does that mean for strategy? He's going to have to run. Well, he'll only get 1 lap out of it.
He'll
He'll have to run 2 lap
do
mediums at
2
the end.
mediums, yep.
That'll be
Depending
disastrous to his
the
race.
if the fuel bowser thing doesn't happen again, of course.
I think that's the biggest issue at the moment. If he goes back in next lap and it happens again, that'll be his race over. There's no way you can come back from that.
You'd think they'd have a spare pump.
You'd hope so.
McLaren spare no expense.
Of course, the McLaren Roadster TC Keaton's running. He's a big fan of the McLaren.
So after those initial stops, Razor's now up into 5th. So of course he's done his
Good
mediums
effort.
lap. What
And
about the
then
guys who've come out?
next-
Anyone running mediums in the middle?
Well, it was Brian who
Um,
ran the mediums early on, and he's come out in 8th. So again, a pretty good jump for him. We'll just
Well, okay,
run through.
Groover and Apex. They're on the mediums now, so they'll be doing 1 lap. They've got 1 lap of fuel in it. Everyone else is on the softs.
Ooh, Apex has got Hatfield for company here. The 2 gamesmen boys.
Hopefully they keep it
running
clean.
on the softs here.
You can't help but
Trying
think
desperately
Apex
to get
really
past.
needs to let Hatfield through here.
Well, unfortunately, all the teams don't have radios between the cars, so
Uh,
probably doesn't know.
This is going to be disastrous for Hatfield's race if he can't get through here.
Well,
into the ring
I
they
think he
go.
might be stopped by his own talent, to be honest.
That too.
Anyway, it'll make for good viewing.
Absolutely, we'll keep track of that in the future. Keaton's still leading, of course. Fuel dwindling down. He will actually have to do a bit of a fuel save to make this lap count. It's hardly enough for 1 lap.
Might be a good idea to keep on those timings they're risky between
That's a-
Keaton and Mint.
It's a 13-second gap at the moment, which is just enough for Keaton to pop out in front of Matt, but
But
we'll
on
have
mediums,
to... On mediums as well, we'll have to see how that pans out for him, if he can hold the gap.
Mint really has to put his head down now and just
That's it.
basically qualifying laps from here on out.
Well, he's extended the gap 2 tenths since the last time we checked in.
Well,
So
he
he's-
does
he's
have
pushing
lower
down now.
fuel.
That's it. See a very
We'll
quick
have
lap
higher
here.
fuel at the end though on the mediums because we'll have to fill it up.
Very interesting.
Razor catching up to Risky there.
Risk is catching Viper as well. It's down to 2.2 now. After
It's like a
that
bloody
mistake on
accordion.
lap 2. Isn't it?
Apex still in front of Hatfield here.
Hatfield will be fuming here. Only 2 tenths behind.
maybe he'll pull some fuel saver, who knows. Big gap then from up to Kev, and then even bigger to Murph, really struggling here. He
Murph
did
just
say
seems...
during the week he does not like it here. He does not like this combo.
very vocal about it. He's a bit out of his depth here. Of course, New Zealand doesn't really have any motor racing circuits that can really compare to Nordschleife, so nowhere really to practice for him before he was here.
Don't they have like that Pukekohe or something?
Pekoki, yeah.
Sorry, Pukekohe.
Yeah.
Pekoki.
Yeah.
It's similar, but I think it's a little bit longer than this, so it's just worthless.
What about Isle of Man? Isn't that one of theirs?
I think so.
I thought that was Japan's, but
I heard their best racetracks are the Russell Crowdrome. Actually,
Okay,
but
I think
That-
I don't
that's
know
in
what that
Canberra.
is, but
that's in Canberra. Okay,
we're learning
the more
things
you
here.
know.
Geography
Yes.
with Super B team.
I would say at the very least, good on him for showing up tonight to give it a go.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Really-
And you'd think being on a track you don't like, you're not enjoying the combo, and it's your first season in Division 1, you know it's going to be struggle street from the off.
Very true.
So, kudos to show up.
Does look like perhaps Brian's just making a little bit of ground here on Norman Motors ahead. Of course, on the soft tyres now, he's really pushing to make the strategy work for him, and Motors won't be easy to get by, but he will be really pushing to make it done, and Brian's made the mistake!
In the fence!
Oh,
Oh, facing the wrong way as well.
Wow. That was a 1.5 second gap at that point, but
Oh, they're all
obviously
catching him now.
doesn't matter anymore.
a stream pass, and he just can't get it out of the grass. This is heartbreak for Brian.
Wow. Oh no.
Meanwhile, we've got Apex and Hatfield side by side. Oh, Apex, give me a little bump in the
Oh.
grass.
Oh no.
Oh,
Can't do
Hatfield's
that.
going to get it
Through there.
done.
At louder corner. Wow.
Oh no.
Oh,
Poor
look at
exit.
this.
Oh, on the grass. They're still side by side. This is great to see.
No love lost.
Apex around the outside. He might have just gotten that position back. See Groover come through, and he
He's done it.
has.
Still in the toe
Oh.
for Hatfield, though. He might be able to sneak back alongside.
Is there really any room here?
Oh, you can make room. The car's small enough.
I don't think I dare push Apex at this point.
No. Smart, patient driving there from Hatfield. Team comes first.
It certainly does.
Just see how Brian recovered from that. That's a huge amount lost to where he was. Remember, he was on the back of Motors before
Oh, he's in the grass again. Oh.
Yeah, he'd be kicking himself.
Very unlike Brian to make a mistake of that caliber. Usually a very
Oh.
clean and consistent driver.
Most drivers can make a little error here and there, but the fact that he lost it again, trying to get back up to speed, that's the real killer.
It's such an easy mistake to make, I may say. That exit curb is very slippery, and the moment you get the car in there at absolutely full tilt, it will just loop you. I made that mistake many a time in practice.
I
and,
think we've had a retirement from Murph.
Yep.
I've just
I
lost
mean-
Murph, yep.
Hard
Well
to say.
done. Props to sticking it out this long, but obviously if you hate a track, then
I think
really-
we can call it halfway. I don't know where on the track he was, but...
We'll call it
I'd
halfway.
assume-
These two are
I'd
stuck
assume
into
it
it
was
again.
halfway.
Look at this.
Jesus.
Groover!
Groover, wow. You're getting
Just
caught up
manages
in the
to hold
battle.
Was he was in front, wasn't he?
He was
These guys?
definitely.
He's lost
I'm
big time.
Pretty sure he's in
He's
front.
lost it big time now.
There is no love lost between the teammates. They are hell for leather at the moment.
Just got to light up those stickers on the back of the car. Thanks again, Ignition, for sponsoring this season.
Hatfield's just making sure the headlights are
Just in
pointing
lights there.
square on that.
Go to
In-
the Gamesman for all your game needs.
All of them. Every single one.
Yeah, all of them. Don't shop anywhere else.
I think
Or
maybe
else.
now's a good time to mention that at the moment on RaceOnOz, of course, we do have the Gamesman livery competition taking place, of which you are allowed to put a Gamesman logo on a BMW M3 or a Porsche, race or road, and have the chance to have your car actually printed onto the wall at the Gamesman and have advertisements made of it. So,
Yeah, I've got to come up
massive-
with an idea for that one.
yeah, that'll
Yeah,
be good.
same.
Massive initiative from
I don't think
Gamesman, and
I don't think I'll be beating you guys, but I still like to give it a go.
That's it. A Logitech headset is on the line for that one as well as a prize for the winning livery.
I think maybe one of us should try and win that, because then you can hear us all the more clearer.
I think maybe that should go to Risky just so we can get rid of his creaky doors.
No, I think I need oil, not a headset.
Oh, I'll drink
All
up.
right, we'll oil you up before the next one. This group of 4 cars, very close now.
This is going to be great come the dotting it up.
Apex, the only one on mediums, is that right? Out of these 4?
I believe so.
That's
Maybe
correct.
Groover? Yep, Groover as well.
Groover and
Groover
Apex.
the mediums
Yep.
as well.
Here
Now
we go.
Brian's
All
stuck
of them in
behind him, but
slipstream.
on the straight.
Yep, let's just
Keaton
watch
in the
Brian
pits with
here.
1 litre of fuel.
Wow.
He's made
Good.
that last.
Well done. With a 15-second gap coming into the
Look
pits
at
there.
that throttle trace from Brian there. Very cheeky
Hatfield
work from
having a
Satellite
look.
there.
I'm sure he'll be happy to sit behind here just to save that bit of fuel.
No saving fuel for Hatfield or Apex though. They just want to get this done.
They've been side by side or thereabouts for a whole lap round here. Props to them, honestly.
Great racing between the two.
I think it's a miracle we didn't take each other out.
Exactly. Especially with you in the car, Hatfield.
Yes, no, whenever you get near me in a car, you know it's going to end in the wall.
World's dirtiest driver behind Keaton.
I'm always behind Keaton.
We'll
That's
see
it.
Apex and
There we
Groover
go,
dive in
Apex.
here.
Yeah, oh, Brian's in
Yep,
as well.
And Brian. Yep, Brian, of course, after doing the first lap on the mediums, he's running to the end now on softs.
That's right, Chopper's in as well. Only 3 litres of fuel left in that car. No Mint takes the lead again.
It's funny, I think you said it earlier on Hatfield, but Mintmat, great shot at winning this race at the moment. There is daylight between himself and Viper.
Well, with Keaton's fuel pump issues, it really becomes a race of damage control unless he has that pace to still stay ahead.
He's just sitting in 4th here, a little bit behind the duo of Viper and Captain Risky, so he's comfortably
Yeah.
ahead of Norm, but
He's on the mediums now, so we obviously know he has the pace. Just depends on how much pace he has on those mediums. Can he make up the gap that he needs to? I mean, having to pit, what's a pit stop? About 13 seconds?
There or thereabouts, yeah.
And what do we got? What's his gap to the leaders at the moment?
His gap to Viper at the moment is 7.1. Remember, he'll only be putting half a tank of fuel in because he'll only have to do 1 lap on those mediums.
Yes.
That gap from Viper to Risky's 1 second now, so Risky's caught back up there after that off. Keaton 3.5 back there, so Keaton will be trying to push, but obviously he might have short filled to try and reduce that gap. The time spent in the pits.
Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
Keaton obviously saving the most fuel out of everyone bar Brian, I think, so he can do it.
I guess a good indication would be if we look at Norm behind and that gap. Will Norm close in being on the better tyre? Or will
We'll see.
Keaton's pace just be too quick?
That's 2.6 at the moment, so I'll watch.
I think you'd go on a safe assumption that Keaton would have him covered. Of course, Keaton's our standout driver in the field, and
Look, you
Norm-
can't say that just because he's a Kiwi.
Motors all in the wall
Motors
there.
in the
Motors.
fence. Bit of a spark.
Wow, interesting.
Awkward moment for the ignition controls driver there.
Yeah, I mean, every time we've crossed him, he seems like he's in the zone. I'm lucky to have a little off, but at the same time, lucky not to loop the car, as we've seen is so easy to do.
Absolutely.
Hatfield down with Razor for company. Razor got fresh softs on.
These will take him to the end. This will be a lot of pace come the closing stint for Razor. Predictions, where do we think he's going to end up? I mean, there's a lot of drivers ahead of him. Who can he get?
Or he might, if he pushes hard enough, I reckon he could probably catch Motors, but I think Norm's just out of reach at the moment.
Yeah, I'd be in the same ballpark, 5th, 6th, but he'd really have to push to get 5th.
I don't think it's impossible to say that Viper and Risky are out of the question. I think the medium paces are a real unknown for these guys at the moment, and if those guys really struggle at the mediums, then Razor, we know he's got huge pace in the softs. So 3rd is
Special
not out of
guest
the
appearance
question.
from Robot Viper there.
A little bit of connection issue with your voice there, I think, Viper.
Just a reminder that won't be picked up on the stream because the stream comes through my recording software.
Ah,
So
yes.
everyone at home, you missed out on some great robot impressions from Viper there, as Razor now all over the back of Hatfield.
He's caught that quickly. Will Hatfield make this easy?
Oh,
Doubt it.
No!
Wow.
Oh.
Oh, he's made it easy.
He'll make it super easy. Do some grass mowing there.
Valtteri
Groundsman very
Bottas
happy.
is extended to Hatfield.
After last round's Hatfield School of Defending show for the entire race, it's kind of... You're losing customers by the second here, Hat.
That's more the class of how to get out of the way quickly.
I thought it was just your new school of lawn mowing, but I'm confused
To
now.
be fairly honest, that's a PTSD there from a past incident. a driver who shall remain unnamed decided that he liked
We're looking
his
at
T-bone.
you,
Well done.
Microsoft Word.
Yes. We'll
Yep,
leave it there.
I'm
People
sure nobody
who...
knows who that was. That's
No
great.
one.
As Mint's
I think a
still out
lot
in
of
front.
people will figure it out.
What's your favourite version of Microsoft Word? Mine's the 1990 edition.
Is it?
Mine's whatever
What's the
one
gap
was on my
there
school
from Mint
computer.
to Viper?
I have a bit of a soft spot for Microsoft Word 2010. Many a school assessment done on Microsoft Word 2010.
Ah,
And I,
year 5.
just like all the people watching at home, cannot believe this conversation is still going.
Yes, well,
Mint
that's just the nature of this track.
doing well there with the split. Look at those lap times on the right. It's got that 9:18 there.
Shame it won't count.
Yeah, that was probably what, an out lap, in lap? Which one?
That'd be... Oh, it would have been an out lap.
An in out lap. Interesting.
Yep.
Yes.
There's the funny thing about the fastest laps for this track. There will hardly be any. The nature of the way that the fastest laps are counted and where the laps are for in-lap and out-lap means that for a lot of these guys, their very first lap will be the quickest. So I think at the moment, Mint Matt's first lap, which was literally from where he was at the standing start, the 9:23 is the fastest lap of the race. So
The only other chance is the final lap for those guys that ran mediums at the beginning or the middle.
he cannot have another crack at it.
Oh well, he'll have to stick with what he's got,
I think he'll be happy with what he's got.
considering it's still the fastest lap. Risky.
Oh, hang
Viper,
on.
Top of the carousel there.
Oh,
That's
this is
opening
just
the door.
inviting pressure on. Risky's around the outside.
Slots in behind
Solid
again.
line there.
Geez, you guys just love being close to each other, whether it's in the commentary box or out on the track.
Oh, huge
Lot
bit of
grass
curve for
going
Viper.
there, bit of
I
air.
think we'll stop that conversation there before it gets past PG. I think.
Well, I think it could get to R, but no one needs
I
to
think
know.
it could get past R. I think.
After some really good racing.
That's it.
Absolutely. Risky's all over Viper still. Come into the best sector on the track. We'll say it every single time we get there.
Of
Don't know
course,
if you
following
guys-
through here isn't fun. Dirty Ed.
You look like
It's
you're having
kinda-
great fun.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
We'll actually say at this point I was very out of rhythm. It's very easy when you make a mistake like that at the carousel just to be thrown off for the rest of the lap. And with Risky's taillights in the rear mirror, it was definitely not comfortable.
Tail lights in the rear mirror. I was not backwards.
Headlights,
No.
same thing.
There we go. They're not.
In other news, they are. And Risky catching still all over the back of Viper here.
Oh, can he just throw one? Oh, he's right tucked in. That is so close going through the hump.
You'd have to think that Risky probably just want to sit there till they get to the strip.
Oh, Risky!
with the-
Oh,
He's just
Skid.
held that.
the skin of his teeth.
As I was trying to say, he'd probably just stick in the slipstream and wait
The
for
ring is
the long
gripped
back straight
there.
to make the pass.
See what can
Both
happen.
these guys have to come in for their final lap on mediums, so how is their fuel?
Risky
Oh,
was
it's just going to be left out in the
yeah.
dry there.
I can say I did have to push to get to this current position that I'm in.
Oh, Viper,
as
he's made a
Viper
mistake.
Just got it done.
conveniently goes wide there.
Two
Oh,
carousels
no.
in one lap, both messed up.
Oh, Keaton with a bit of a skid. So, just fun little gap check. Keaton, 4.5 back. So he's lost about a second there over the course of that lap. And Norm's gained about 8/10. So the mediums are slower even for Keaton.
There you
Maybe
go. But I
Mid-Matt
guess
might just
all
have a
these
shot
guys
here.
are going to have to pit though, whereas Keaton's just going to keep going. So he's got that up his sleeve.
Matt with a big fuel, Phil actually, he's got the least fuel out of the top three.
Although look
Because
at that
Viper with the
purple
most.
time. Mint Matt
You'd
on
be
for a
tempted to cross the line
9:19.
just for the fastest lap, wouldn't you?
His-
Absolutely.
I reckon you'd cross the line and then just quit the race, really.
My time is done.
Yes.
I think anyone would be beating that if he stopped now.
As he dives in, as we predicted.
Risky was just able to hold Viper's out here. Coming into the pit lane, both of them will dive in. Of course, Viper with a shorter stop ahead of him.
I think we'll be seeing that gap balloon out after the pits.
23 litres compared to 6 for Risky.
Huge
Yeah,
save.
done
Takes the
alright.
lead again. Got just about half a tank there, which is what you need for one more lap.
Everyone diving in. Are we going to see Mint Matt here? Oh, he's
Keaton's
out.
out in front. He's done it. Well done.
Comfortable from
Well, now,
Keaton.
okay, Mint's now got the fresh tyres. Being mediums, of course, it's not as big a difference as the softs would be.
I don't think the mediums were enough. You'd like to think that Mint Matt might just be able to pull up to the back of Keaton, but it's not really looking likely. I mean, Keaton's probably looked after his tyres pretty well. He has. Look at that. Marginal wear, but...
And it's a 4-second gap. I don't think anything's going to come from this for Matt.
See,
but
once again, the Nordschleife
we'll
is a
see.
very unpredictable circuit. Anything could happen.
That's it.
So we'll just keep an eye on these top guys and see what happens.
So how much gap did Viper get to Risky there with the stops?
1.4.
enough.
So it's not out of the question for Risky to catch back up, but it's it's going to be a tough one, really.
I guess Risky just have to wait for the carousel when Viper runs wide again.
Either one of them, actually. Yeah.
It'll happen.
Or both.
Yeah, both. Yep.
Both will work.
We've got Norm and Razor as we predicted, 5th or 6th. Well, 6th is 6th, so he's there. Will he catch
He's done
him?
well.
He's going to be on the softs now. Norm's on those mediums.
I think it's very likely that it'll get him, personally.
Yeah, it's not a will he catch him now, it's will he pass him. Oh, a little bit sandy.
Will he stay on the track for long enough to catch him?
Absolutely
That I
not.
cannot answer.
He's got no thumbs to keep himself on the track.
Of course.
His hands just get taped to the wheel. Lucky the paddles are there.
Well, that's if he had a wheel.
Look in the car, there's a wheel there.
Oh, that one, yeah. Oh, it just looks like a wheel. It's actually a DS4. Can't help but notice if anyone's seen that. Just on the wing mirror of Razor's car there's just a little bit of a face that I can make out.
Yep,
Just
I do
the
see the
braking zone.
face.
That's the face of the 2019 Manufacturer Series champion, Simon Bishop, actually.
I do believe it is, yes.
I
Sure,
don't
how guys
understand.
wouldn't know who Simon Bishop is.
No, he's
well,
just some balding old bloke.
Yeah,
Kiwi.
We'll
Yeah.
run it through. He's probably one of New Zealand's best sim racers at the moment. He was the Manufacturer
Better than
Series
Norm?
champion. Absolutely. Don't even have to stutter. He was Manufacturer Series champion at the Nürburgring 24-hour. Of course, flown all over the world with Gran Turismo for Toyota. He's one of the best and someone who's constantly at the top in Oceania. And
Well, he better
somehow...
hope that Razor gets this done because he wouldn't be happy being behind another New Zealander there.
No.
He'd want to be in front.
Oh, here we go.
Norm
Overlap.
Oh,
with the slides.
wow. Wow.
Side by side. Oh, what a
Around the
move by
outside.
Razor.
Well done.
Beautiful.
Norm just left a bit too much racing room there. Easily Razor getting by with Norm on that inside ripple strip, losing all sorts of traction.
I think it was inevitable, and it's something that Cy Bishop will certainly be applauding, as he puts both of his faces on the wing mirrors into P5.
Yes, unlike Razor, he does have thumbs.
Razor's car, of course. That's not the only face on his car. Hank the Tank, Mint Matt's dog, makes a featured appearance on the headlights.
Just see it here, we're on board with Razor coming into Flugplatz. That is not Flugplatz, but it's like Flugplatz.
It's the corner after it.
That's true.
I think all
Yeah.
RaceOnOz members can agree. We all like dogs, and we all
Yep.
like Rooz's dogs, so good luck to him.
Absolutely. That's actually not Razor's dogs, but it is Razor's dogs because they're on Razor's car. But
Yes.
that's Mint Matt's dog, Hank, who's
Hank the
featuring
Tank.
on Razor's car. We're not sure why, but he's there. So,
He's definitely
You've
there.
got to show support to your friends, including your friends' animals.
and actually,
Yep.
there you go. Mint Matt rocking the same one.
Yep. And of course, the last animal appearance on Razor's car is Big Chungus. Can't
we
go
went over that
unmentioned.
round one. Let's leave that.
No,
How are we going
we'll
here? So
we'll
Razor
leave
now
Chungus.
extending the gap to Norm. Motors behind of Norm. Is he also on the medium tyre?
Norm is on the medium tyre.
So who are our
Motors is
movers
also on the
then? Who
medium
are
tyres.
our soft tyre guys at the end
So
here that we need to look out for?
Razor,
Chop up.
Big Chopper Dog,
Yeah,
Brian.
running a strong 8th.
Groover.
Oh, and it is Brian
Apex
really
and
close to
Cam.
Brian
Hatfield.
all over Hatfield now. Yeah, he'd want to get this done soon because he's got Groover coming up behind.
Brian done all right to catch back up to sort of where he lost out. What was it, lap 3? Yeah, lap 3.
You talked about a school of defending. I think maybe it's time to watch this one.
Here we go.
Of
Can
course.
he make up for his very poor effort before, Hatfield?
Yes,
Gotta
I'd like
say.
that one stricken from the record, but I know
Yeah.
it won't be. It'll be brought up at every opportunity. Brian struggling to find an open door.
Through miss it,
Lighting up
missed
those
now.
stickers
Oh,
on the back
Groover.
again. Thanks, Ignition. Groover now catching onto the back of Brian. They're going to make this a three-way battle for ninth.
Convenient pause.
Okay, streaming off to
Apex
his
is
own lead
close
here.
too.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have to worry about Keaton until he crosses that line. Brian looking everywhere for an opportunity. I think Groover
Risky.
just waiting patiently now.
Risky 1.4 back from Viper now, so that gap's just stayed pretty constant.
Pretty constant. Keep us up to date with that one. If they get any closer, we might need to cross over there.
Have a look. Groover fallen off from Brian and Hatfield a bit. Oh, hang on. He's caught back up because Brian went a little bit wide into the braking zone there.
Groover also on the softs.
It is soft tyres for Groover at the moment, yes, and it's Brian who's the real dangerous soft runner. He's looking for any way he can get past Hatfield right now, but
I think
Hatfield,
very lucky that this sort of flat section isn't a straight.
I think
or
you're
he'd be
lucky.
done.
You are driving the widest MX-5 ever produced. As
But now they're
Groover's having a
side by
sniff.
side behind, and has he got Brian there? He has.
Oh, this is close.
I think helped there by the positioning of Hatfield's car for the slipstream.
Oh, was there contact there maybe? Really close between the three of them, and Apex is just
Certainly giving
waiting
him
for
the
something
hurry
to
up.
happen. Oh, Groover a bit squirrely in the braking zone, maybe just defending from Brian. We're coming to the carousel now, of course. If any of these guys put a tyre wide, this could be really disastrous for their race.
Yeah, it's probably most difficult to be in the spot just behind Hatfield because you're looking for a way through out front, but you've also got to be wary of the guy behind, as Brian found out.
Look at Groover, he's all over him. He wants to get something done
Wow.
now.
Cannot find an open door. Ideally, you want to be down the inside somewhere, but at this point, if you think you can do it, you could try for an outside move.
Absolutely, or maybe, just maybe, these guys will just have to sit tight, hope they don't get overtaken, and wait for the back straight.
And that is the patient option, but we are on the final lap.
Gap's 1.2 now as Risky and Viper heading. They've exited the rhythm section. They're into the back downhill now.
It's Hatfield, Brian, Groover, and Apex enter the best section on the track. Like I said, we will say it every lap. Groover around the
with an
outside. Oh no, he's out!
Oh, no, they've both gone!
Oh no!
Groover and
Oh.
Brian, huge incident there. Disastrous for both of them.
Jeez, Apex must feel like Moses.
The heavens have opened for him, and 10th is waiting. And Groover's out
Oh,
wide
they're off
again.
again! Oh, dirty tyres coming into play there. Oh, man, they'd be fuming. Ninth
that-
has gone begging.
Is that the slipstream gone for Groover? That could be the end of this battle.
Apex now, still within a shot, being on softs as well. He'll probably catch him.
And look who it is. It's Apex versus Hatfield once again. These two just cannot be
Risky's-
separated.
Oh no! Oh no! He's gone off
Oh.
at the last corner before the straight. Oh no!
Risky's had a moment.
He was almost within tow there. If he had a better run, he might have
Oh,
caught it.
Razor.
Razor's in the fence!
Oh,
He was
I
on
have-
track for
keep it.
fastest lap there too.
yep, that's fastest lap gone begging for Razor. That's an extra point that'll be crucial for him come the end of the season. Gone.
Luckily for him, Norm, bit capped there, but he won't be able to catch him.
As Keaton come into the final braking zone now for a well-deserved victory after some troubles with the fuel. Just
Yes, you'd
proving
have to
that
say-
he's the king of the ring.
Yeah, it's a very, very well done. Very good drive
Brilliantly
there,
driven
especially
from
with the
Keaton.
technical difficulties, not to just throw in the towel, but to stick it out.
And Mint
coming home a
maybe
strong second.
just ruining that mistake in the second carousel. Viper's going to come along for a bit of a quiet third. Not much to do for this race, but pretty good fuel save in his second stint.
Risky with a well done fourth, but he would have hoped for more.
Disappointing, really.
Fifth, very good result after his start.
It will
There's
go.
Apex getting alongside Hatfield.
And fifth from last. Big props there.
Props, these two. Oh, Apex has just gotten Hatfield there.
Hatfield sliding behind, maybe have a second look.
Oh, here we go.
Will he do it?
Is there anything for Hatfield to do?
Would he risk the team?
I think he
Team's
would.
positions at this point.
It's now or never.
He just can't get it done. Apex just too far ahead, and Hatfield will just have to stay in 10th position.
I think very lucky for him to get top 10, finishing on those tyres versus all those guys on the softs.
Absolutely. Groover really unlucky to finish P11, flashing the lights there for us. Brian in 12th, and it's going to be Big Kev with a long way to go still. It's been a terrible race for the Selby boys, something that...
So well done for sticking it out all the way.
That's
though.
it.
Absolutely, yep.
Always props around here. Which, one of the good things about this track is it's not boring to hot lap on your own.
No, it's
There's always something new.
Exactly.
one of the fun ones, that's for sure.
You might even call it stressful.
That's also one way to put it, yes, depending on how you look at it.
I mean, it is called the Green Hell.
It's definitely not the green heaven.
Green hell it is. And of course, well done once again to Keaton 231. That was a commanding win, and something, maybe with that that fuel issue, that was probably one of his best I think we've seen.
Yes, well, you would think if he didn't win that one, he'd be ruining the issue, but in the end, he did all he had to do.
Absolutely, and we're really looking forward to next week. It's going to be Brands Hatch Indy for our sprint round next week, and our sprint round, if anyone's watched before, is chaos. So,
yes, of course, we're going to be having a 2 half-length races, you could say. The first one will be run as per normal, and the second will be a reverse grid based on the previous races' results. So that always proves to be hectic, and it'll be even more so considering this car is quite nimble and it's quite a little track, so not that many spaces to overtake, and Brands Hatch is a bit tricky when it comes to some of those corners, a lot of wide entries, and if you've got someone sticking the nose in, there could be quite a few incidents, so we'll have to see if those guys can keep it clean.
absolutely, it's a real test of driving standards, and we may or may not see a few shock driver swaps. So just keep your eye out for the starting grid for round 3, and I think we're all really excited to see what Division 1 does next.
Big thanks to Ignition Controls for this season. Super B team!
Super B team!